Well, hello and welcome to snowy Boston. It's about -6 degrees Celsius out there, so I hope you're having a nice warm time in Brazil. The purpose of this video is to take advantage of the Boston balcony. The fact that I'm living here in Boston with an ability to observe from some distance the UB 2012 journey. And so what I want to do is offer some perspectives from the balcony on the latest Barrett survey that was completed at the end of last year. So firstly, thank you. I think almost 200 people completed the assessment, so that's almost 100% of the managers, directors and board. So firstly and foremost, thanks for your commitment in taking the time to do that. What I'd like to do is firstly just share with you my sense of the highlights from the assessment results. I'd like to offer you sort of a higher level thought on sort of the messages that, at least I'm taking away from the data, and finally give you my sense of some of the implications for us at this point in time on our journey, at this tipping point time. So on the highlights, well, I guess the top line is there's a lot to celebrate. And we sensed it, I think, but the data just confirms it. And let me just draw attention to 2 or 3 big highlights. The first is that I think it's very clear that we're seeing the emergence of a performance culture at the same time as we're seeing, growth, sustained volume-driven growth in the business. And on the cultural side of things, we can say that because we see that entropy's fallen consistently now for 2 years, down from 37% to 19%. We saw it fall most significantly in the last 12 months with the directors. We see now 6 matches between the current culture and the desired culture, which is up from 2 years ago, so that's fantastic progress. In the top 10 current culture, there are now only 2 potentially limiting values, bureaucracy and long hours, down from 6 2 years ago, and 7 if you include consensus, which I think we all agreed was a limiting value. In the top 10 now you see customer service and leadership development, which is fantastic news. They of course were almost non-existent back in the current culture in 2008, and they've been steadily increasing, and they've now made it into the top 10, which is fantastic. So a lot to celebrate in terms of the evolution and development of a performance-orientated culture, which is fantastic. The second big highlight for me had to do with you as people. And what I think we can say from the data is that we're seeing you grow and develop to be more self-authoring, which of course is fantastic. The strategy requires a self-authorizing mind, and I think the data is showing that you are growing into being self-authorizing people. And how do I say that from the data? Well, I see that the center of gravity of the values of the people in Unilever Brazil is the same. You're still the same level 4, 5 or stage 4, 5 people. But what's different are some of the particular values that make it into the top 10. And I refer in particular to accountability, risk-taking and personal growth. These are values that for me are edgier, and they smack of a desire to create, to grow, to develop, which of course is synonymous with being more of a self-authorer. So I think that's an important highlight. And the third is the fact that the desired culture is exactly the same today as it was back in early 2008. What we wanted then is what we want now, and the fact of the matter is we're just much closer to getting it. So I think that's also a particular highlight.